Hi, Jean Luc.
Hello.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
We are here
For you.
Yeah, for you.
There's the camera.
We are here in Asakusa.
But not in the normal part of Asakusa.
No, we're in a back alley
We're in the shady part.
because we are visiting a Marusan pop-up, correct?
Correct.
And they've got some of their original kaiju for sale today. No Godzilla, although they have some Marugachas. So if you stick around to the end of the video, we'll show you what we end up picking up at the event. But I thought we could have a little walk and talk conversation about the state of toy collecting here in Japan.
It's in peril.
It's in peril. No, it's not. There's a lot of So we just came from Nakano Broadway. We go there at least, what, 2 or 3 times a month?
Yeah.
And we always find something, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard anywhere else in Tokyo to find much unless you go to places like Akihabara. But even there, you know, you're going to find a lot of anime figures.
Yeah.
As far as vintage stuff, it's pretty tough.
It's pretty.
So if you're planning on visiting, or if you're kind of wondering where's a good spot to go toy hunting, I always tell people knock on Broadway, but don't expect to find tons and tons of vintage toys.
Right. Don't come there expecting, and maybe you know this, but yeah, don't come here expecting, oh, I'm gonna find the Grail figure I've been looking for forever. I mean, you might, depending on what your Grail is. But.
Right. Gone are the days of walking into, like, for example, the Mandarake complex tower in Akihabara and having an entire floor of nothing but like bullmark for like under $200.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt. There are some places to find that kind of stuff, and a lot of them are a little bit more hidden and out of the way of those kind of touristy places. And I usually don't like to talk about those places. And there are some that I still haven't even visited, but eventually will. And I understand why the owners of places like that don't particularly like people filming inside and showing them, because there's just so many people visiting that they kind of tend to show up and ransack the whole place.
Yeah. So ransack was the word I was looking for.
But aside from vintage toys like Saw Final Kaiju being, you know, hard to find or really expensive, and aside from like modern anime figures, which you can pretty much find any of those on like Big Bag Toy Store or whatever. Yeah. You've got your Gachapon, which are hit or miss. But events like what we're going to today, I think, are some of the most fun things to do. Definitely. If you live here, or if you time it right. There are some toy shows like Superfest, which is getting increasingly more expensive too.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't really bought much there recently. I avoid Wonderfest.
Yeah, I don't even try Wonderfest anymore. Yeah. Anything I want will cost the ticket plus like transit there, and you know, an extra like $30. So I'm like, I'll just order it off of Mercari or something.
Right.
Where do we go now?
We can just turn around here. By the way, we don't really know where we're walking right now. We're just kind of exploring these side streets, because one of my favorite things to do is, if you have extra time, or if I have extra time, to kind of just explore an area that you've been to but you've never been around certain streets, because a lot of times you'll still find little secret hidden spots that you may not have known about, because there are still places that don't really have an online presence that you can run into. But yeah, this area right here is a lot of old businesses, residences, and like little mom and pop places that are mostly closed at the moment. I assume there's a lot of bars and stuff around here, but so it's kind of weird that they have the Marusan event at the bar we're going to, because it's at a bar. Yeah. It's called a cafe.
I mean, it was originally at a bar.
Yeah. There are still fun things to do and to hunt for here, depending on what you're after, but you kind of have to broaden your horizons and not be dead set on finding like vintage Bullmark or vintage Marusan or vintage Popey.
Vintage anything
really. For like cheap prices. You will get lucky occasionally. Like I found a Popey Baragon at the last weekend's Amazing Shoten guy. Great smaller event that's kind of like Superfest. So if you're visiting when that's going on, you could check that out. Anyway, I found that Baragon last week, and then today I found this guy, this little flying Jet Jaguar. How do you say Jet Jaguar?
Jet Jagger.
Jet Jagger. McJagger. I'm from Kentucky. We say Jaguar.
Jaguar.
So yeah, I found this today. This is not vintage, but it's definitely vintage looking. This was made by Marbit, I think, in the early 2000s, and this is something I've been hunting for a long time.
And he's lucky he saw it first.
Yeah. This guy was kind of hiding in the bottom. He's something I've been actively looking for this past week too, so I was very excited to find this.
Jeremy's taller than me, so he gets like a better scope of things.
Yeah.
Some nice going by. The rickshaw, man, not a lady.
Rickshaw.
Not a lady.
All right.
Hold up, Jeremy. You're going to get hit by a car.
Where are we going?
I'm going to steal that Jet Jaguar.
No, you're not. I'm putting it back. All right, bye-bye, Jet Jaguar. So yeah, there's stuff to be found, but you know, unless you're like a Pokemon card collector, do you do the Pokemon cards?
Don't say it like that. I mean, no, I don't, because that's a ravenous bunch right now. Yesterday, the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy set came out, and I didn't even try to look for them because I just know, you know, they're like 8 times retail price everywhere right now. You're not gonna find like super deals on them.
What did you find today while we were at Nakano?
I found this lizard thing. The guy told us what it was.
Yeah, Hokage lizard something.
Right, that's what that show's from.
I'll insert him here. But yeah, Jean Luc didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. You like lizards and frogs and shit.
I like
alligators.
I like reptiles.
Reptiles.
After
you bought it, the guy was like kind of making fun of us that neither of us knew what it was.
Yeah, they're like, you don't even know what it is.
And he bought it anyway. And yeah, that's a vintage Poppy toy.
Yes.
Like the late 70s, early 80s, something like that. So yeah, and it was a good price.
It was a good price.
So there is stuff to be found. So now that things have changed here, you know, there's a lot of tourists here. You could still find things a couple years ago before the influx of the over-tourism. It's a bit of a problem in some areas, but it's also very beneficial. Is this weed? No. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, after the influx of tourism, which has been like in record numbers in the last couple of years, and it keeps growing. You know, most of the people that come here are like big anime fans that are younger and are mostly about like the anime statues.
Yeah.
There are things that you need to know when you come here about even buying those, because certain places will jack up the prices and you can find them.
Yeah, right down the street for like a fair price.
Yeah, like $10 or something. Yeah. I moved here 20 years ago. Jean Luc has lived here for a number of years.
5 years now?
5 years. And compared to 5 years ago,
if I had the knowledge I had now, 5 years ago, you know, I'd have a lot more stuff in my collection.
Yeah.
Because the things we used to see, you know, weekly, it's like, now we see that and it's 3 times the price and not as good condition.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot different. Not to say it's like all for the worse, but it's definitely what it used to be.
Yeah. And a lot of the shops that were here 10 years ago or even 5 years ago are now all gone.
Yeah.
So that's another sad reality of modern toy collecting.
You know, cut it here real quick.
Yeah. The what?
The fifth Asakusa.
Oh shit.
Yeah, tried crossing the street when you get shot in the leg, idiot. See cops up there. I don't like cops.
What you want, what you gonna do?
Hey, you got it.
Yeah, there's something going on up here. Police cars, maybe it's just a cop. It's just a lot of white cars. What are we talking about? Aside from like your big sofubi events that are like crazy, like Wonderfest and whatnot, I avoid those. Like you said, you avoid those. There are smaller pop-ups, but I think Marusan is probably the most consistent about the way they do it, where it's located.
It's almost bi-weekly at this point.
Yeah. So if you like Toho Monsters...
Always, I was going to say, it's always like not the same thing every time.
Right. Sometimes it's like only Godzilla, sometimes it's only Toho Monsters, sometimes it's a mix of Subaraya and Toho Monsters. Now they've got the original Maruman, which are reissues of their kind of bootleggy kaiju from the late 60s, early 70s when they lost their licenses. Check out the video I'm showing here to learn more about that I did with the CEO of Marusan. I think a lot of the lotteries to get into these events are like email based, and they post the information through Instagram or Twitter.
It's usually Instagram.
Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to skip into the future and we're going to be at the Marusan event. So see you there. So we just left the event, and yeah, we got some Marupupe, some puppets.
Uni puppet.
I ended up with getting doubles of Ebiron, and then after my second time, they sold out. And you got this like super satanic guy.
He's sick. He's got missiles on his belt. He's got shoes on his shoes.
I got a lot of Maragacha. If you are interested in buying some of these, you need to join my Patreon membership. Check out the link below. I offer these up every month for my members, and I also allow them to pre-claim items from the pop-ups, among other special perks.
Shout out to Brian.
John Luc
Violante Brian.
Jean Luc just dropped that on the ground. Look at that beauty fee. Beauty fee? Well, yeah, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Hope you, I don't know. What do you hope they do?
I hope you're staying safe.
Yeah, stay safe. Don't do drugs, kids. See you next time. Bye-bye.